Releasing the cape, how authenticity frees you from self-sabotage. Welcome to the Soft Girl Era podcast, where we empower and inspire Black professionals, business leaders, and entrepreneurs to step into their most authentic power. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And today I had the profound honor of sitting down with Keysha Pitts, a woman whose journey from the shadows of alcohol dependency to the radiant light of self love is nothing short of transformative. Keysha isn't just surviving anymore, she's thriving, she's building, she's loving herself in ways she never thought possible. Her story isn't just about sobriety. It's about reclaiming the woman the Creator designed her to be, stepping out of toxic connections with abusive drinkers, and finally loving the person she's showing up as today. Her message: it's okay to be yourself authentically. And that permission, that radical self acceptance, is changing lives, communities, and entire narratives around what it means to be a Black woman who chooses softness over survival. Let me tell you something. We live in a world that taught us survival, not softness. We learned to hustle, not heal. We learned to carry everyone else's burdens while our own light dimmed under the weight of expectations, trauma, and yes, sometimes substances that promised relief but delivered destruction. Keisha's journey mirrors the stories of so many high achieving Black women who've spent years in survival mode, leading teams, raising families, holding down households, carrying communities, all while quietly suffocating under the pressure to be strong. But here's the truth Keisha shared with me during our conversation on the Soft Girl Era podcast: authenticity frees you from self sabotage. And that freedom, it's not just personal, it's professional, it's spiritual, it's revolutionary. During our interview, Keisha opened up about how alcohol and toxic connections with abusive drinkers dimmed her true light for years. She was living in the shadows, disconnected from the purpose God placed in her. But when she made the decision to step into sobriety, to embrace authenticity, and to love herself fully, everything shifted. She stopped performing, she stopped pretending, she stopped dimming her light to make others comfortable. And in that sacred pause, in that deep exhale from the Superwoman script, she found herself, the real her, the woman who was always there, waiting to bloom. Let me break down the three biggest takeaways from Keisha's story because these aren't just insights, they're lifelines for any Black woman ready to enter her soft girl era. First, authenticity frees you from self sabotage. Keisha shared how alcohol and toxic connections were dimming her light, but owning her truth reignited it. Think about that. How many of us are dimming our own light because we're afraid of what people will think if we show up fully? How many of us are sabotaging having our success, our peace, our joy because we're still performing a version of ourselves that was never meant to be? Authenticity isn't just about being honest with others, it's about being honest with yourself. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I'm done pretending, I'm done performing, I'm done carrying this cape. And when you do that, when you release the cape, you create space for the real you to emerge, the you that's been waiting, the you that's powerful, soft, and unapologetically whole. Second, sobriety reveals your creator given purpose. Keisha's journey out of alcohol dependency wasn't just about quitting drinking, it was about stepping out of the shadows so her unique gifts could shine for business and impact. When you're numbing yourself, whether with alcohol, overwork, toxic relationships, or anything else, you're blocking your purpose. You're blocking the divine assignment that only you can fulfill. Sobriety, in the broadest sense, is about clarity. It's about removing the fog so you can see who you really are and what you're really here to do. For Keisha, that clarity led to a profound transformation. She stopped connecting with abusive drinkers. She stopped accepting less than she deserved. She started showing up as the woman God designed her to be. And that shift didn't just change her life, it positioned her to change the lives of others. Third, self love is your greatest business strategy. Keisha's story reminds us that embracing who you are builds resilience for leadership and entrepreneurship. You can't lead others if you don't love yourself. You can't build a business, a brand, a legacy if you're running on empty. Self love isn't selfish, it's strategic. It's the foundation for everything else. When you love yourself, you set boundaries without guilt. You say no without apology. You rest without explanation. You protect your peace as a practice. And that is what makes you unstoppable. Now let me make this tangible because Keisha's story isn't an isolated one. There are Black women all over the world who've walked this path, who've overcome alcohol's shadows to claim authentic power in their professional lives. Let me share three powerful examples. There's a woman named Mickey Bay, a sobriety coach and Black woman entrepreneur in recovery who built a thriving coaching business after overcoming an alcohol addiction in her corporate career. Mickey was deep in alcohol dependency, facing professional stagnation, toxic relationships with abusive drinkers, and a loss of self identity that stalled her leadership potential. She was a high achieving executive, but she was hiding her drinking. And then she hit rock bottom after a DUI. That moment forced her to realize that alcohol was blocking her divine purpose. So she committed to sobriety through therapy, faith based support groups, and authentic self reflection. She pivoted to coaching other Black women on recovery and empowerment. And the results? She gained clarity to launch her business, helping hundreds break free. She skyrocketed from broke to six-figure revenue with sold out retreats. She authored a book called The Sober Black Girl Revolution, and she sparked a movement normalizing sobriety in Black professional circles, reducing stigma around addiction. Mickey's story directly mirrors Keisha's theme of escaping alcohol shadows, including abusive drinker connections, to embrace authentic self love and purpose. It's a Black woman's entrepreneurial triumph, and it's proof that when you release the cape, when you choose sobriety and authenticity, you don't just survive, you soar. Then there's Anna Elizabeth, a Black entrepreneur and podcast host who transformed her life post alcoholism into a multi-million dollar wellness empire. Anna was trapped in a cycle of heavy drinking and abusive partner dynamics. She battled depression, business failures, and disconnection from her true entrepreneurial spirit. After years of numbing corporate burnout with alcohol, a near fatal overdose forced her to confront how it was ruining her potential. She embraced sobriety through 12-step programs, spiritual reconnection, and vulnerability sharing online, authentically rebuilding her brand around recovery. She achieved financial freedom and inspired thousands of Black women leaders. She scaled a podcast called The Balanced Black Girl to over 1 million downloads, launching courses that empowered sober success. Anna shifted wellness industry narratives, making authenticity and sobriety key for Black female entrepreneurship. Her story perfectly aligns with Keisha's message of loving your authentic self after alcohol's ruinous shadows and toxic ties. She didn't just rebuild her life, she rebuilt her legacy. And she did it by choosing herself, by choosing softness, by choosing healing over hustle. And then there's Robin McNeil, a Black tech executive turned sobriety influencer who reclaimed her career after alcohol derailed her ambitions. Robin hid severe drinking and codependent relationships with abusive partners, leading to job loss, isolation, and a suppressed leadership voice. She was climbing Silicon Valley ladders while secretly battling alcoholism. A health crisis revealed how it shadowed her God given talents. She pursued faith centered sobriety, therapy, and public storytelling to own her authentic narrative, launching a coaching platform. She regained promotions and built a community for sober Black professionals. She grew a platform called Sober is Dope to over 100,000 followers, securing book deals and speaking gigs at Fortune 500 events. Robin influenced corporate DEI programs to include addiction recovery, empowering Black leaders to show up fully. Her story directly illustrates Keysha's theme: escaping alcohol's destructive hold and abusive connections for authentic self love and purpose in business. She didn't just get sober, she got free. And in that freedom, she built something that will outlast her, something that will empower generations of Black women to come. These sister stories echo Keisha's. They're Black women rising authentically post alcohol. They're women who released the cape, redefined strength, and embraced softness. They're women who healed in real time, protected their peace as a practice, and turned their survival into something sacred and supportive for others. And here's what I want you to understand: these aren't anomalies, these aren't rare exceptions. These are the women who decided that survival wasn't enough anymore. They decided that they deserved more than just getting by. They decided that they deserved joy, rest, peace, and freedom without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. Keisha's journey from living in the shadows of alcohol dependency to embracing the person the Creator designed her to be is a testament to the power of authenticity. It's a reminder that it's okay to be yourself authentically. It's a reminder that loving the woman you're showing up as today is not just an act of self care, it's an act of resistance. It's a rebellion against a world that taught you survival instead of softness. It's a reclamation of the joy, rest, and freedom you deserve. But here's where I need you to get honest with yourself right now in this moment. What shadows are you still living in? What toxic connections are you still holding on to because you're afraid of what it means to let them go? What cape are you still wearing because you think that's what makes you valuable, worthy, strong? Because here's the truth: that cape is heavy and it's keeping you from flying. I need you to audit your shadows this week. I need you to identify if alcohol or toxic connections are dimming your light. And then I need you to take one step towards sobriety or therapy to show up as your fullest creator designed self in business and life. Just one step. That's all it takes to begin. Maybe it's reaching out to a therapist, and maybe it's attending a support group. Maybe it's having an honest conversation with yourself about what's really holding you back. Maybe it's looking at the people in your life and asking yourself, are they helping me rise or are they keeping me in the shadows? Whatever it is, take that step because your light is too powerful to stay hidden in the shadows. And here's what I need you to feel right now: I need you to feel inspired. I need you to feel hopeful. I need you to feel deeply affirmed, like you have permission to love your authentic self, free from alcohol's chains, ready to lead unapologetically because you do. You have that permission. Keisha gave it to you. Mickey gave it to you. Anna gave it to you. Robin gave it to you. And I'm giving it to you right now. You don't need anyone else's approval to step into your soft girl era. You don't need anyone else's permission to release the cape, to rest, to heal, to be soft. You just need to decide that you're worth it. And you are. So, to every Black woman listening, to every high achieving professional, business leader, and entrepreneur who spent years in survival mode, this is your moment. This is your sacred pause. This is your deep exhale from the Superwoman script. This is your soft girl era. And it starts with one decision: to be authentically, unapologetically, beautifully you. Not the version they need, not the version they expect, not the version that keeps the peace or carries the weight or dims the light. The real you, the you that's been waiting, the you that's powerful and soft and whole. Release the cape. Step out of the shadows. Embrace the woman the Creator designed you to be. Because the world doesn't need another woman in survival mode. The world needs you fully alive, fully free, fully you. And that version of you, she's unstoppable.